The Blues Fan Forum podcast is presented by Interstate 70 Sports Media Group. I-70 strives to bring you the best sports coverage in the tri-state area. Find them on Facebook or at interstate70sports.media.
This is Jordan Bennington, and you're listening to the Blues Fan Forum podcast.
On the ice, under St. Louis city lights, where the Blues play with all their might. Jordan Cairo, fast on the attack, but defense falters, gotta cut him some slack. In Robert's arms, we find our glory. His skills shine, the team's best story. St. Louis Blues, we wear the crest. In Jordan Bennington, we put our trust to the test. On the ice, we fight.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to episode 136 of the Blues Fan Forum podcast, your source for Blues news, views, and fan interviews. Powered by Scooter's Coffee. Blues fans can score amazing drinks like the signature Caramelicious, served hot, iced, or blended with world-class espresso, fruit smoothies, Scoot energy infusions, and so much more. That is amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooter's Coffee. We are back. We're on a streak. It's not a good streak, but we are back. Episode 136. Dakota is here. Dakota, how are you?
I'm good. Like we said before the podcast started, as we're talking too much about the losses, I'd like for tonight or tomorrow for us to begin talking about some victories. All right, so like maybe we hit tonight, we get a victory, we end the streak. It'll be a nice little podcast from us next week. So let's hit the win column instead of the loss column.
That would be nice. Streaks follow streaks. So when you go on bad streaks, good streaks are supposed to follow. That's how it works. Our guest this week is kind of exciting because we get all sorts of guests. Some, people who are just casual fans and just want to talk. This week, we're kind of lucky by not only having a devoted fan, but also a co-host of the Blue Note Fan Report podcast, Justin Scott. How are you, Justin?
How are you guys doing? I appreciate you guys getting me on the show, letting my voice be heard, and getting to be a part of this podcast and getting to see or getting to have my voice out on your show. So I appreciate you guys letting me be on tonight and getting me on.
Absolutely. We are always looking for more people to join. That's kind of the whole premise of the podcast is if you got opinions on the Blues, we want to hear them. We want to discuss them. And actually, I have this cool new banner that I'm going to put on the bottom that says just that. Whatcha? Look at that. Look at that. Jeez, I'm just hard working over here. All right. We're going to dive just head first in. Sometimes I like to come up with something creative or weird just to throw it out there and start talking about. But with a devoted Blues fan and podcast host, I know Justin's going to have some thoughts here, so we could just dive straight on into hockey here. Let's cover the recent games first. Tuesday, 10/28 was the last day that we actually recorded. We were kind of covering this game a little bit as we were recording, but it ended after we got done. Blues were at home against Detroit and ended up in a 5-2 loss. Shen got his second, Cairo got his fourth of the year, and Bennington stopped 15 of 19 for a very low 789 save percentage. Justin, this was the one game you said that you did not make in person, but were you able to watch it on TV?
Sadly, I was. Usually if I'm not at a Blues game, I'm watching. I'm a fan who usually doesn't turn off the TV, even if the Blues are losing bad. Usually it's start to finish for me all the time. And this game just felt like a game that the Blues just didn't have the life or energy in. I expected a little bit more, especially with the way that they lost the game in Detroit. Being up 4-0 and then blowing that lead. I expected a little bit more, and we just didn't get it. And Another thing kind of rings true, what I've been talking about a lot, is the goaltending has not been up to par, for the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, that was a rough one. I will say, looking at this game and then kind of moving ahead to Thursday's game against Vancouver when Binnington was also in, Binnington faced 19 shots on Tuesday against Detroit and only faced 18 shots on Thursday. So facing that amount of shots, like, it looks like the Blues are intentionally trying to play better defense. Unfortunately, they still end up in losses.
I think it's kind of unique, and I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now, since the season started. The Blues are a team who've always been a team that usually outscore their opponents, but not outchance or outshoot their opponents. So we're seeing something unique where we're seeing a Blues team that is actually peppering goalies with shots and keeping other teams to a low shot count, which is something we usually don't see, especially in recent memory. So it's crazy to see that the Blues are not getting the success that you would like to see with a team who is putting like 35 plus shots on net. They had 40 the other night, right? So it's kind of a weird time for the St. Louis Blues.
I mean, yeah, even like talking about it, I think Kerber and Vitale were saying it too. Like, no team in the NHL has had a game against the Blues where they scored or they had 30 shots. And I think that's a small sample size to what we've seen so far this year. But again, our goalies, if your defense isn't allowing you to see 30 shots on goal or 30 pucks, that's that sample size of, okay, if you're only seeing 18, can you stop all 18? And how much of those scoring chances are high danger? We talk about that a couple of times on the podcast already. Is like, of those scoring chances, are they high danger? Are they not high danger? I think we were kind of calculating it live on the podcast last week. Is like, one of those goals literally had like a 0.01 chance of going in.
I think it was 0.8. It was less than a 1% chance of being a goal, and they scored it.
And I do think the Blues have like fallen on the puck luck necessarily. Like, we did have 40 shots on goal, and I think we had 2 or 3 goals. So like, why are we not getting the good bounces, right? We're putting 40. They always say shots on goal or pucks on net. So we're putting pucks on net. We're just not getting the reward we're wanting. And then the other side of that is the Blues are not allowing a lot of shots, but now they're kind of letting them in a large aspect. So it sucks. I do think the Blues puck luck will change. Like you said, streaks follow streaks. So this can't go on for very much longer, can it? Like, can we go 40 shots deep and still lose a game?
Well, you kind of look at it like this. If you look at the underlying stats of the St. Louis Blues, the stats don't look as bad as a 31st place finish currently right now for the Blues. I mean, you look at 5-on-5 play and the expected goals for the St. Louis Blues, they're top 10 in expected goals for. So I think the thing that I have been kind of touting for the St. Louis Blues is the two issues: is the timely goaltending saves that we need, and the finishing factor for the St. Louis Blues. The Blues are getting their opportunities. They're getting their chances, just not finishing when they need to finish. And the goaltending is not getting saves when we need them. I kind of go back to the game, last game, where Joe Hofer had his best performance since the Calgary game. And what did he do in that game? He saved a breakaway. So if you look at it, that's the save that the Blues have not had in a couple weeks.
And I do think
they still lose that game.
Hot. Yeah, I think they're coming out hot. I think the games played in the last week, they've come out, they've got an early point or got an early lead, and then they kind of fall back to playing on their heels. It's playing that full 60 minutes that we talk about over and over and over and over and over again. But it's like, how do you get to playing those full 60 minutes? Like, how do they come out with so much gas, and then all of a sudden they go down 2 goals, and now it looks like they have no gas in the tank whatsoever. So it's like, how do you find that, like, what do they call that, like that fifth gear that the Blues just need to play with for the full 20 to 40 minutes? And then if you get a good 2-3 goal lead, maybe kind of off the gas a little bit, but still play a full 60. But, watching teams put up 3-4 goals in the first period, like Jacob and I went to a game and it was like 4-0 in a flash. Like, it just kind of,
it's the Utah game.
It's deflating and demoralizing, I'm sure, for us fans. But I mean, I can't imagine how it is sitting on the bench and being like, fuck, we barely just got onto the bench. Like, how do they kind of come back to a scenario where they're the ones throttling other teams and being like, all right, now catch up to us, see what they can do. if you put in the 40 shots on net, at some point they're going to have to fall through. And then I feel like the defense really shouldn't have to change much as to what they're doing. I mean, you can't stop all the pucks from going into the net, but allowing 18 shots a game, that's really good, especially if your defense is stopping or blocking for 13 to 14 a game. Like, you can't ask for much more.
Yeah, I mean, that shot count being so low for the St. Louis Blues, because, I mean, we're so used to having the Blues be a team who lets up 30 shots, 30-plus shots a game. So seeing what we're seeing, like where the Blues are averaging maybe about 25 shots a game, I would assume. There's a lot of games in there where they have not allowed over 20 shots in that. So, it's something unique and different that we haven't seen this Blues team. And the underlying stats for the defense, a lot of people have got onto the defense this season. It hasn't been as bad as what it has looked, standings wise.
Yeah, the shots looked good on Tuesdays. Earlier shots against looked good on Tuesday and Thursday. Saturday, not so much against Columbus, but you guys mentioned that Hofer kind of played his best game of the season besides the Calgary game that we did not deserve to win, but we did. Hofer had to stopped 32 of the 35 he faced for a .914 save percentage, which is what we're expecting. Like that's the numbers we're looking for. If he's got to face 35 shots, it makes sense that he let in 3. But we need, like Dakota was saying, our offense to score more than 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, and in this game, it's kind of crazy to think about because most of the shots come in a flurry in the third period. 5 minutes left in that game. Despite Columbus having 35 shots on net, the St. Louis Blues still outshoot Columbus. So, I mean, it's just a weird kind of thing to see where you see a team who is, and I get shots are not everything because it depends on where the shots are getting taken from. They even showed a thing during the intermission, like where the shots were being taken. And yeah, there wasn't like a crazy amount coming from the inner slot, but there was chances. And there was a lot of chances in the third period.
Yeah, there was, I believe it was something that you put on Facebook, Justin, but it was a graph that showed the Blues were in the section of the graph that were showing that they are out-chancing their opponents, but they are just not scoring. That's where the Blues were. And then in the other section of the graph, the Chicago Blackhawks were down there, and they were scoring, but not out-chancing their opponents. So I guess my question to you is, which would you rather have, and I guess think of this in the long term, would you rather have the out-chancing and not scoring, or the scoring but not out-chancing?
Well, if you look at the teams who are successful right now, like you mentioned Chicago, I mean, Chicago is striking fire, and I think that that's going to kind of go back down to normalcy very soon, eventually. But honestly, you gotta probably go with the better option, and I think that would be that they're outscoring, because like if you're outscoring your opponents, then you're likely winning your games. Right now, the Blues are taking more of a Colorado Avalanche approach or a Carolina Hurricanes approach. Those teams like to shoot from anywhere, and they get a lot of shots, a lot of chances. But the difference between the St. Louis Blues and teams like that is those teams score. So, honestly, if I'm to pick one, I'm going to go with I'd rather them outscore opponents than outchance opponents. But I do like the shot count that the Blues are putting up against teams.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time, like they're not shooting enough. I feel like we said that last year. But now they're actually shooting. They may not be scoring, but like don't like not shoot the puck, right? Like just because you have 40 shots doesn't mean you're like all right, we got to find different ways to score the goal, but like please put the shot on goal. Like pucks have a strange way of finding themselves in the back of the net, and if the Blues at any point in the season start like going to how they play on the power play and passing the puck around and getting maybe a shot or nothing on the power play, that's how you see us kind of going down in the shot column. But no, put pucks on net. You never know what's going to happen. Some of them will follow through. I believe the puck luck will change for the Blues, and at some point it will happen. We're doing all the good things. We're doing all good things.
sometimes that's the best way to create your own luck is just throw it on net and
Oh yeah.
have some bodies around there. You gotta have, you can't, if you just throw it on net and there's no one around, that's the goalie's going to swallow that up every time. But yeah, throw it on net. Maybe if no one's around and no one's, net front, then you throw it on net, but on the ice and he's got to make a pad save. So there's a rebound of some sort. But yeah, just kind of looking for, create your own luck a little bit. Just a shout out to a couple of listeners. Of course, Sam is here. Thunderbirds not doing very great right now. So Sam's kind of in the same boat as we are. Our fearless leader at Interstate 70 Sports Media is hanging out with us today. Good to see you, Jeremy. And then Wilkie just says something that I haven't read yet. Surely, if we keep the shots up, eventually they will have to start falling for us, right? So that's kind of where that last question was kind of leading to, is if we're out chancing but not scoring, do we eventually fall back to the mean where the chances lead to goals? And same thing on the opposite side of the Blackhawks. Does their eventually lack of chances fall down and say, you know what, they're not going to be scoring as much? Is where I was leading with that. But that's I mean, I agree with what Justin said of, if you're scoring, then I'd rather just score and win and not say, well, we almost scored. Like that's kind of what we're debating right now.
And it's kind of a cop-out answer, but like it's just in a magical world, I would love to just say, okay, the Blues just keep their shot count and then just start scoring. Then I would be like, oh, we knocked two birds out with one stone. We get the shot opportunities, we get the chances, but we're also scoring, like the high danger teams will do. But you asked me to give you an answer that I would prefer. I would prefer them to outscore their opponents because that would probably mean that they're winning games. So
absolutely, though, your answer made sense for sure. I did have some notes here on the Central Division's expected goals against percentage, which is kind of a confusing stat, but luckily Money Puck makes it all nice and pretty for you. So essentially, it looks at the expected goals you should score, compares it to the expected goals against that you should be giving up, and tries to measure it and see, are you positive? Are you like a net positive of you're giving more chances than you're giving up? Or are you a negative? So anything above 50% means you are having more chances than you're giving up. Anything below 50% means you're giving up more chances than you're actually giving. So the Blues right now sit at 50.5%. So they're just barely out chancing opponents. And this is also, to throw this, make sure people understand, this is not just throwing pucks on net and counting it. Like a shot from the paint and a shot from the point don't count the same. Like it's measuring your ability to score on each shot. So if you just flutter one up to the goalie, it's not going to count as much as actually trying to tap one in inside the blue paint there. Yeah. So it's not just, getting 40 shots is nice, but if we're just throwing them into the stomach each time from the point, it's really not that great. Chicago, for comparison, has 13 points this season. They are, I think, in fourth place in the Central. I did not write that down, but I think that's right. Their goals against, or their goals average is 45.64%. So they are significantly giving up more goal chances than they are scoring. So just, I guess, we'll start with just those two. What are your thoughts? Do you think, I'm trying to spin it, trying to be positive as much as I can in this podcast. Do you think the Blues, again, regress to the mean and start getting more goals because of seeing something like this advanced stat?
Well, I mean, Dakota, would you like to answer that one first? I will kind of defer that one to you on that one.
I don't necessarily think it'll be a regression, but like I think at the same time, like the Blues, I feel like have this, at least us fans have this preconceived notion that we just need to shoot it all the time, right? And this kind of graph or this statistic shows that like it really does matter what type of scoring chances you're getting, right? Are they high danger, low danger? Like, do they have bodies in front of the net when they shoot the puck? Does Colton Parayko let one wind from 100 feet out, and will it go in? But like, it's the Blues' MO every season that they just need to make the perfect pass. And I feel like nowadays passing doesn't really allocate to goals. It's the shots and what shot you take. And the Blues now this season have shown us that they've learned from their old days or the old ways, and putting pucks on net is something that is very important to them. We may not be shooting, or we may not be getting goals now, and we're 12 games into the year, maybe less than that, but at some point they're going to start to fall. And if they keep the same MO of putting 30 to 40 shots on goal a game, they're going to get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7 goals. But I don't think the shots are going to have to be the ones that it sacrifices, right? If you're Utah, right? Utah scored 4 goals, and I think they had maybe 8 shots at the time, 8, 9 shots.
Yeah, something like
that. It's a freak thing. Nobody ever expects to score 4 goals on 9 shots. Like, that's usually when goaltenders are like, "Fuck, I'm going to probably sit the bench because that's a really bad." Yeah, it's time for me to sit down. But so if you keep the shots on goal at the pace that we're going, I think you said 25 maybe as an average. I'd love to see it maybe like 27, 28. I mean, you could start being like this, the Tampa Bay Lightning, even the Vegas. I think Vegas Golden Knights, when they won the Cup, they averaged like 28 shots on goal. And they won the Cup, right? So like, shooting the puck on net does in fact lead to better scoring chances and better goals. But I don't think there's going to be a regression. We might fall back a little bit. We might not be peppering 40 shots a goal or 40 shots a game. We might be at like 27. But if we're shooting 27 pucks on net and we're getting 4 goals out of it and we're still losing the game, then I mean, hell, what are you going to do there? What are you going to do?
Well, and it's actually kind of funny that you bring that up, because I kind of feel the same way about like Blues fans in general. Like, because I use the word fickle, and I think it's a great word to describe some of it all the time, because you brought up the fact of like, everybody's like, oh, the Blues are too fancy. They do something and they try to make too many passes, and all they do still try to do that sometimes. They have learned from their mistakes a little bit, but the Blues are shooting now. And now fans are just not happy. Now the team sucks. Now the team is not good. Like, you just cannot make some fans happy. And that's the frustrating thing about some of the fan base, for me at least, that I'm just like, man, like, please stop making St. Louis fans look like they don't know what they're talking about. Please. Like, it's just not a good look when you have fans like that just, 12 games in the season, the Blues aren't 12-0, so the Blues team sucks. Like, I get it. They're not getting the wins. They're not getting, they're not in the standings where they should be, realistically, but it's 12 games into the season. Calm down, relax, things will get better.
2019 showed us that being last doesn't mean dick. Okay. You can be dead last and still win the Cup, right? So why are we all fretting? It's still early. We've got a lot of time to cook.
Well, and this team is better than a third. Like, they're ranked. I believe they're in 31st right now in the whole league. So they're second worst team behind the Calgary Flames. So, does anyone think, looking at this Blues team, that they are that bad, that they're down there with the Calgary Flames? Just on paper.
I would hope
Do you
not.
think the St. Louis Blues team is on the same level as a Calgary team?
No. I'm going to put quote unquote experts, because people who watch hockey, I guess, more than we do, had the Blues either in a playoff spot or just barely out. So to build off your point, though, Justin, do either of you guys know who is leading the Pacific Division right now? Without looking it up, if you guys have your computers.
I'm going to go with the Seattle Kraken.
It's not the Kraken.
It was the Kraken at first, but if it's not the Kraken, let's see, who would I think would be leading? It's not Vancouver. It's not LA.
Who's in the Pacific?
Vegas, San Jose. Yeah, it's Vegas, San Jose, Edmonton, LA.
I believe it's San Jose.
No,
it's not San Jose. San Jose just
They're
got their
bad.
first win not too long
Yeah,
ago.
they're not good.
It's not LA. It's either got to be Vegas or Edmonton, right?
Vegas is tied for the lead, but technically they're in
Okay.
second because they only have 6 wins, where this team has 7.
I just
Okay.
looked at the standings today. Why didn't I?
The reason I bring this up is because this makes the point of there are teams that are in first in the division that you guys probably can't even come up with, where we're pissed at the
What?
Blues.
This
Did you
team?
look it up?
I'm just curious. This team?
Is it? It's not Anaheim, is it?
It's the Ducks.
Mm.
The
It
Ducks
is.
are in
Okay.
first place of the Pacific. Now they have a young squad, so it's kind of hard to tell where they would end up. But nobody would have predicted the Ducks to be probably any of the top 3 places of the Pacific Division, which is the same thing as nobody's going to predict the Blues to be in the bottom of the Central. So by the end of the season, it's extremely realistic that the Blues end up in either a wild card or the 3rd spot, which is exactly where we expect them, and the Ducks end up out of a playoff spot. So that's
Well,
early we are in the season.
And I think that's a good point that you bring up. I do think the Ducks were going to be better. I didn't think that they're necessarily a playoff team, but I did think that they would be better. There's the Pacific Division is just, honestly, in my mind, it's so weak. So I mean, you expected the same teams up there. I still think Vegas is going to win that division. I don't see any reason why Vegas wouldn't win that division.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to have your 2 teams. You have Vegas and you have Edmonton, and then everybody else is just kind of like a okay, this could happen, this could not happen kind of thing.
Right. It would not be shocking to say that 3 teams out of the Pacific make it, their top 3, and the 2 wild cards come from the Central.
Yes.
So, that's what I had in my predictions for the season.
I'm just feeling the Central Division is by far one of the strongest strongest divisions in the conference.
Mhm.
Has been.
Oh,
for
yeah,
years.
for sure.
So,
It's one of the best divisions in hockey. It probably is number 1. I think that I can't remember. Is it the Atlantic? I think is the other division that is kind of a crazy one, but not so much now because of the situations of movement of players that have happened, like Toronto not having Marner now, and so I think that division has kind of slipped a little bit. So I think the Central Division is the best division in hockey, or at least most competitive.
I mean, I do want to go on paper to say we did shit on the Buffalo Sabres to start the year, and they are at 13 points. Nobody in the right mind would have picked Buffalo to be above the Blues and the.
Buffalo has been supposed to be good every year. Like every year, it's like, all right, it's time for their young guys to step up.
But the thing is, though, is I want to preface this because the Buffalo Sabres, they always start good. Seeing them start good is not surprising because the Buffalo Sabres, they start good, they give Buffalo Sabres fans hope, and then they take it away.
Crush
it. So they always start good. It's like Colorado. Colorado is an interesting story because obviously we all know Colorado was going to be good, but Colorado seems to struggle in the early portions, and they did not struggle this year. They are a good team to start off the year. Usually they're a bad team to start off the year.
I still think Kroenke sucks. So either way, as long as Colorado sucks.
Well, I'm not a Colorado fan either, but I don't trust Colorado in the playoffs a least bit. I think that their depth is not where it needs to be for the playoffs. So, they can have the regular season all they want, but I don't think that they have any depth when it comes to the playoffs.
I will say, and I don't know how this popped up on my social media, but as I was scrolling, there was I could enter to win a free, like, all-inclusive trip to a Colorado game, but it was like through Breckenridge, or it was through like a ski resort thing. So I think that's how I got it. But I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to sign up for that. I'll go to a Colorado Avalanche game and spend the weekend skiing. Like, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
I don't think I won. I don't remember when the drawing was, but it was just a couple weeks ago that I signed up. All right. Well, we're at the 29-minute and 12-second mark, which means Dakota probably has a text that is going to be coming my way soon, but I'm gonna beat it by doing our ad reads. So coffee, because coffee's great. I might have messed up, guys. I ordered mushroom coffee because apparently it's healthy and apparently it tastes good. And so I ordered it. So don't tell Scooters, even though I'm saying this on a live recording. If you don't have mushroom coffee and you prefer flavor over, I don't even know if the mushroom coffee is good or not, go to Scooters. Specifically, the Scooters on Highway 143 and Troxter Way in Highland, or Vandalia Street and Indian Avenue in Collinsville. If you cannot make those, you can go to any of the 30 locations in the greater St. Louis area. And that is amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast Scooters coffee. We also have Hughes Custom Design. They are a family-owned and run small business that is operated out of Maryville, Illinois. They specialize in laser-cut, hand-painted signs, and they have options that are typically ready upon request. And they can complete almost any request for custom jobs. We did finally give away our Blues, the sign that they have, Hughes Custom Design had for us. It took us 3 different games, but this one, I eventually was just like, you know what? Just tag somebody. You don't even have to guess the final score, because every time we guessed the final score, luckily they were all Blues fans, so they were guessing the Blues to win, and we just were not doing that. And then Dakota, I'm going to actually let you have Imprint Lab if you want to take it away. Just
I don't know the ad. Yeah, I don't know the ad read,
personal experience with them.
Yeah, so Luke is an absolute genius. I have a infatuation with flat bill hats. I have about 50 I'm looking at right now. And I was like, I just need a flat bill hat that's got the Blues new kind of like paint scheme or color scheme. Paint scheme, what the fuck is this, a car? So Luke was like, I got you, buddy. Let me get some like drawings, some renderings going, and I'm gonna send it your way. And like less than a week's time, this dude made some magic happen and threw a couple hats my way. Some of the best things I've seen since bread was made. So I highly recommend if you need anything with your logo, anybody else's logo, something that you want to be brought to life, hit up Imprint Lab. By far, blown away. I can't wait to be rocking these every Blues game, every podcast. I just needed a flat bill to put on my dome. Beautiful. And I think Jacob also has a sign as well that they do as well, but blown away. Can't thank them enough for what they did for the hats. I shared on Facebook. You know, tell everybody, tell all your friends. Imprint Lab.
Imprint Labs. If you want something on something, they're your people. We got hats. We got signs. We got Coolie cups with our logo on it, metal ones. We have very, very large mouse pads. What else? They're doing tumblers now. You can get something printed onto a tumbler. So they're just adding new stuff by the day. So
if you have shit and want it on shit, there you guys.
Oh. All right. Now would be the time we would run into my Teach Me How to Doug question. But Wilkie had a question that I think is very Teach Me How to Doug-esque. And it was actually almost the one I used for today. But we'll go ahead with Wilkie's question of, if we continue to shoot and we continue to not score, at what point in the season do you start making changes, and what do you change? Again, we're only 12 games in, so we're really, staring down the binoculars here in the future.
You're really like that's a complicated, and we talked about this too, Jacob. I'm like, dude, don't ask me any complicated questions, bro. Come on.
Well, I didn't. It's Wilkie. Wilkie did it.
No. God damn it. No, I just, for me, the expectation of this Blues team was high, right? So like all the Blues fans were super excited about coming into this year, and it has not panned out for the St. Louis Blues. But I'm a optimistic fan and I'm a positive fan, that I think that I'm with Dakota on this one, that like if the Blues keep getting shots and they keep getting the MO and taking the approach that they have been taking, the Blues are eventually going to start scoring, and they're eventually going to catch momentum. I truly believe that. They're too good of a team with too much talent on that team. A Robert Thomas, a Jordan Kyrou, a Dylan Holloway, a Philip Rubber. There's too much talent on that team to be in the Gavin McKinnon sweepstakes. So I don't think the Blues are making anything crazy happen unless they're at the deadline and they are significantly not in a playoff spot, or at least close to a playoff spot.
I want to 1B this question because I don't think we really have gotten into this, and I've always been fascinated at how the Blues actually set up. I don't know how to categorize it when they come out of their D zone. But do you think the Blues need to maybe collapse a little bit more on the goaltender? Do we play like 2 high, 3 low? Do we play like a house formation? Like, how do we get pucks to funnel to the dirty areas of the ice that we have a guy like a Dylan Holloway or a Nick Bukestad that's kind of like in the dirty areas of the ice, that we're gonna get those like soft, shitty goals? But like if we're taking shots from the blue line and we're not getting anything from it, do we start kind of funneling it down below the crease and kind of like pushing it that way? I like watching Nathan Walker and watching, Dylan Holloway whenever they're kind of below the crease and they're kind of going every which way. I like seeing that happen, but do we do more of that to kind of like bring the defense closer to the net so we can get those like high danger scoring chances? Just throwing that out there.
Well, and I think the Blues have always been a team who has struggled with net front presence, and we hear that a lot. Jim Montgomery all says it, and I'm sure Blues fans are just tired of hearing it by now, and the Blues not doing it. But like, they have always struggled from not getting people in front of the net, and I think that's one of the key things of why Neighbors is such a big loss for the Blues. Neighbors does a lot of that. So Neighbors is a guy who stands in front of that net, gets in front of that net for the dirty goals. I mean, look at where he is when he scores his goals. He's right in front of the net, right on top of the goalie. The Blues just don't have enough guys that do that. And I don't particularly think that there's a specific thing that I can point to where I'm like, oh, the Blues need to do this, the Blues need to do that. I really like the defensemen who take a shot first mentality, like Parayko, like in the beginning portions of this season, especially. How many times did that guy just wind up for a slap shot? Just he would get a simple pass and just wind up for a slap shot every single time. Like that's a defenseman who has a shot first mentality, that has a hard shot that usually misses the net, but like if he hits the net, then if you have traffic in front of that net, you're getting opportunities, getting rebounds. Goalies are hard, it's hard to stop, like you can't shoot that hard.
Did that hurt your ears a little, Dakota?
I was confused. I was going to just ask him a question. All of a sudden, I just got blown out of my
You kind of turned into a robot there for a half second. You were like bing bong. I was like, oh god. Okay.
I wanted to ask one more, and I think that you brought up a really good point. And I do like this because I'm a shot first guy. I'm always yelling shoot. And Jacob did tell me when I sat in the Utah game with him, yelling shoot is not going to make them shoot it. So we'll keep that in mind.
And that is true. I always hear shoot. Every time I go to Blues games, I always hear shoot. But like, I think it, and I don't mean to stop your question or interrupt you, Dakota, but it kind of just goes back to how Blues fans are just so fickle. Like you want them to shoot, and then when they put 40 shots on net, it's not good enough for you. So what do you want?
Right. So my question that plays along with the shoot it, because usually this is the guy I'm yelling it at. Would you rather have more of like a weak wrister from a guy like Colton Parayko, which is a little bit more on target, or would you rather him, Al McGinnis slap shot 100 mile an hour from the blue line, but now you have no idea where the hell it's going? Would you rather have, and I'll answer the question before you get to it, but like in all the grand scheme of things, I feel like having a more controlled, like a soft wrister that can be easily tippable, as opposed to guys trying to duck out of the way because they're going to lose their front teeth. I feel like that would be the more sane play, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, and I do kind of agree with you. I would like a defenseman who is more controlled and just throws an easy shot on net for a tip chance. But you look back to some of the earlier goals that the Blues scored, especially Jake Neighbors was one of them for sure. It wasn't just Parayko who was shooting the puck, but look at the goals that they were scoring, especially in Calgary and all that. What made those goals happen was the defenseman, instead of grabbing the puck and like Cale McCarring it and like dancing at the blue line and trying to find the right angle for a shot, what did they do? Colton Parayko, Tyler Tucker, they just took a shot immediately, and that allowed the goalie to not get set in a set stance to save a puck, and it made it even harder when you had guys like Jake Neighbors and P. Suter who were sitting in front of the net right there for tips. You can't get set. Like if a defenseman is getting the puck at the point when the puck is down low and the goalie has to come out and challenge a little bit, if the defenseman is shooting the puck on net as quick as he can, that you're not giving that goalie enough time to get set for that puck.
It's a good take.
I think I'll tackle this one too. I think both of those shots depend on the situation. I think if you're taking a slap shot, your goal of that slap shot is to score with it. If you're taking a wrist shot, your goal is not necessarily to score, but really you're more focused on putting it on net and hoping for a chance. So there's probably a lot of times that we want Parayko to shoot, and Parayko looks up and he goes, well, there's 5 guys there and I can't shoot through people. So, and we're all like, that's okay. They'll get out of the way. They're professional hockey players. They're not going to do that.
Well, and I think the one key things that gets missed with this is you got to have the net front presence. You can have shots all day from the point, but if you don't have the net front presence, you're not going to, you're not going to have this success. The one thing that the Blues do well that involves their defensemen is when they jump up in the play. When the Blues defensemen are pinching in plays, and then you have forwards who come back and support them, that's when the Blues are playing their best. Not necessarily when the Blues are taking shots from the point. It's when Colton Parayko's through the neutral zone or Philip Roberts through the neutral zone, and he just gets those burners on and goes. That's the best version of the St. Louis team that you're looking for when it comes to the defensive side.
All right. Justin Wilkie did apologize for the hard question. So yeah.
I appreciate the apology. I'm not in the business of answering complicated questions, okay? Come on.
And then this is a complicated question, but it's for me. Wilkie was wondering if we have a date yet for our next watch party, and we don't, because soccer just ended. So it was actually on my mental notes, I guess, to start looking at that. But I did Dakota in the Fantasy Hockey League. I sent a trade, and I don't even know who it was. But I sent a trade to them, and they rejected it. But it was the nicest rejection in the history of trade rejections.
I believe it was my father.
Oh, is that who it was? Okay, I didn't even pay attention to who it was. But yeah, it was. I'm sorry. It's not a bad trade offer, but I'm not trading either of these players. When's the next watch party? So I was
that was my dad. Yeah, that was my dad.
That makes sense then.
He did send me the trade and goes, "Did you see this bullshit trade?" I said, "No." But I, knowing Jacob, he's probably trying to take every player you have because he believes that he's going to win this whole thing. So I said, just immediately reject and just be kind about it. He goes, okay.
He was very kind about it. And I was trying to use the name of David Pasternak to get more than what he's worth is essentially what I was trying to do. But yes, it wasn't a great trade. So as far as watch party, not yet. But I don't know. I'll be in touch with you, Dakota, and we'll figure it out. If we want to go back to, we will go back to Timeout Sports Bar and Grill in Troy at some point this season. If the Blues pick it up and make the playoffs, we'll be there every game of the playoffs. But we might maybe move it back to Missouri if we could find a spot to do a watch party in the MO again. So TBA. To be announced, Wilkie. All right. And now we can actually get to our actual Teach Me How to Doug section, which means I should make a video for this too. But nope, I need this one. I played the wrong one all the time. We got the intro.
All right, you're in the chair now. Let's see if you got what it takes to run the Blues.
See if you got what it takes.
Teach me how to do. You're the GM now, make a trade, make a plug. Cap space tight, but the roster's got a bug. So show us what you got. Teach me how to do. Sign them, trade them, send them down to the A. Build a cup team like it's Judgment Day. You got picks, you got cash. Can you make a splash or crash? Better know your lines and match, because fans don't want to see a playoff collapse.
That's good. No playoff collapse. All right. Justin, typically for the Teach Me How to Doug section, I'm asking questions that are hypothetical of would you do this in the future or something like that. But today, and Sam, if you're still listening, it might be a good time for you to maybe just take a 5 to 10 minute break.
Oh, no.
I do know that Sam is really hurting about this trade. But in reference to the trade today, Justin, I want to get your perspective if you were Doug Armstrong and sitting in this chair, why are you making the trade for Callie Rosen, giving up Corey Schooneman? And also, Sam, hopefully you have this turned off. Sam Bitten was also traded to Hershey as a part of this. So we essentially gave up Corey Schooneman is St. Louis Blues property. Sam Bitten is not. Sam Bitten was only property of the Thunderbirds, but both of them went to the AHL team of the Washington Capitals in order for us to get Callie Rosen. So if you're Doug Armstrong, why are you making that trade?
I don't particularly think that this has anything to do with those two players, Corey Schooneman or Sam Bitten. I think that this has to do actually with Logan Mailloux. I think that this move is 100% we need to get Logan Mailloux down in the minors and get him to get some games down there, kind of develop a little bit more. He's going to be a slow development, but I think this move is the Blues are Armstrong making a move to get a guy that he knows in Callie Rosen. Already he knows what he's getting from him. I guess he's a serviceable guy. It's not a big trade, but I think in the grand scheme of things, I think it's a placeholder for a guy like Logan Mailloux to develop and then make his way back into the mainstay of the roster. Is how I view this trade.
Dakota, you want to tackle this?
I mean, he knocked it out of the park with that answer. But yeah, just to reiterate, I think it has to do with the Mailloux. No one really ever understood the Bolduc get rid of Mailloux come to St. Louis kind of thing, and I still don't think we are. Getting him was kind of I hope you become one hell of an investment for the Blues, and it just hasn't worked out that way right now. But seeing as Callie Rosen was a former St. Louis Blue, we kind of knew what we were getting. This is I texted Jacob as soon as I saw it at like 9:30, 10 o'clock this morning. I was like, this is a very St. Louis Doug Armstrong move. Like he plays a lot of he develops his farm system, he gives rid of his farm system, and somehow, some way, they always seem to find their way back in the Blues organization. And it just, I don't understand how he does it or why he does it, but it's just like, hey, welcome home. Like we sent you on your way, and we're gonna welcome you with open arms. But I think this is a smart move. Like this is a really smart move. I always spoke very highly of Callie Rosen. I was kind of sad to see him go, but I think it was for everyone's development. I think he was going to do well wherever he went. He was just not getting a lot of playing time for the Blues. But glad to see we have some depth. I wasn't really big on the Mailloux train. I'm still not. I want the kid to succeed. We gave up a really good forward for him. So at this point, all of our eggs are in one basket. But like Justin said, maybe he needs some time to develop, and it will be a slow burn. But how long will that burn last? Hopefully, it's maybe a season or two, and he can join the big club and be a Broberg. So let's see what happens.
Well, and I think the way I think about the Bolduc trade is I know a lot of Blues fans are still not happy about it, and I get that. I know that Blues fans weren't, but the thing is what most fans don't really get is defensemen develop a lot slower than forwards do. Yeah, Bolduc had himself a shining season last year, and he was a Blues favorite for sure. A lot of his play came on the power play. He was very successful on the power play, and a lot of that is contributed to Robert Thomas. Robert Thomas was the guy feeding him passes. I mean, Bolduc is the guy taking the shot, but still, you got to kind of factor in that situation. I don't know how Bolduc is doing currently right now. I don't kind of eagle eye it as much as some people do. When you trade a guy like, we got to have this guy. This was a terrible trade. Like, I need to eye us. And if he scores a point, then it's the end of the world for the St. Louis Blues. I don't really do that. So I don't know how he's doing currently. I think he kind of cooled off, if I'm not mistaken, as for the stat sheet, but I could be wrong. But like I said, this is going to be a trade that will develop in time.
I do think last time we looked, he was pretty similar to Jimmy Snuggerud. And so we traded Bolduc for a hopefully high upside defenseman, and then just replaced Bolduc with an in-house name. So, I mean, if you want to try to find a way to make the trade more realistic in your head, then we traded Bolduc for Logan Mailloux and Jimmy Snuggerud. Like we just filled him in there.
Snuggie has more points than him.
Right.
Well, and
So,
the way to the way to look at this is it's a hockey trade. It's a standard hockey trade, and the St. Louis Blues needed a young right-handed defenseman. They Montreal had a plethora of them, so they had them in surpluses. They could get rid of Logan Mailloux, and the Blues had a plethora of young wingers coming up through the farm system. You know, we're going to have the future's still looking bright. There's still guys to look forward to. You know, even if you give up a Bolduc, what the Blues are hoping for, they didn't. I don't think they expected this kid to come in and be fantastic to start off. I think they expected this guy to have some woes, and I expect that this guy will grow more and more because there is things that I do like about Logan Mailloux. Logan Mailloux has shown his feisty side. He can be feisty at times. He gets people out of that crease. He gets people away from his goaltender. You know, you still see some positives there. It's just about putting it together, and I think it's going to take, a year or two.
When I saw this trade, that was my first thought. Was immediately I was like, "Oh, they don't think Mailloux's ready. They either are." I went even a step further and was like, "And they don't trust Kessel, or they don't whatever it is that they don't trust bringing Schoenemann up, or they don't trust bringing Loof up if that was going to be whoever the next people up. They didn't trust that to have to play more minutes." Mm-hmm. But then. Luckily, Sam keeps me very updated on how the Thunderbirds are doing, and they are currently 1-6-1, which is not good for those keeping track at home. And then my thought process went to, well, what if they just wanted Calle Rosen, not even for the NHL purposes, but to help the AHL team, because there's a lot of future down in the AHL. Playing for Thunderbirds right now is Theo Lindstein, Jacob Stansel, Alexander Kaskamaki, Otto Stenberg, Pekarsik, and then Susiev. So there's a lot of people that we've drafted within the last 2 to 3 years that have made the jump from juniors to professional, and by their record, I'm going to assume aren't playing well. Mm-hmm. So I do think I'm still leaning on the Mailloux being the issue, but I wonder if that's a kind of a thought process too of we just need more veteran presence down in Springfield.
Mm-hmm. And that very well could be that Calle Rosen just gets his reps in the A, and you know that's a veteran guy that you can have down there that may help that AHL group kind of stabilize a little bit. I think another young guy that is going to be good for the Blues when he eventually makes his way up is Adam Yurchek. Adam Yurchek is a guy who will be a good defenseman for the St. Louis Blues. He showed a lot of great things in the training camp and, camp. So, I mean, that guy is still obviously, years away, but he's a guy that you can look forward to if you're a Blues fan and you're worried about the Blues defense.
We got them. They're coming. Lindstein as well. So if you talk about Lindstein, Jiricek, and then Broberg and hopefully Mailloux, like theoretically, I guess on paper, your top four is covered for a long time. But they have to actually pan out. Like we want them.
Yeah, it should be. And Broberg's kind of been a here and there kind of guy. He's had some good stretches of games, and I think it will come with even more time. He's still young, but that's a guy that we should be looking at and being like, oh, well, that's a guy we need to pan out currently right now. Like Logan Mailloux, I can wait a little bit on and say, okay, let's develop this kid. Broberg is a guy that we need to see right now, and he needs to continue to grow right now. Mm-hmm. It's not like he can't regress kind of thing. He has to be good now. So.
Like I said, Sam's the one who keeps me updated on all things Thunderbirds, and she did say that Rosen was a part of their 21-22 Eastern Conference Championship team. So it sounds like Sam is leaning on Rosen's there to help the young ones out. Hopefully get that ship turned around, because we can't have the NHL and the AHL team being bad. If one of them is going to be, or if anyone's going to be bad, it can only be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then I hate that I have to bring this up, but I am going to bring this up because my buddy Chico put Go Hawks because he is a Blackhawks fan. But the reason that I bring this up is because for those of you watching live for us, you can see his Facebook profile picture is him holding his newborn baby girl, Bowen. She is less than a month old, I believe. And the other reason I bring this up, well, I guess first is congratulations, Chico. But second is I got a Snapchat from his wife the other day of a St. Louis Blues onesie. And Bowen currently owns 2 Blues onesies and no Blackhawks ones. So I guess Bowen is a Blues fan and not a Blackhawks fan. So she's already smarter than her dad, but that didn't take long.
Well, congratulations. You're raising her right.
Yeah. Thank you, Mama Tori. All right. Let's continue with the fun here with a little Whose Line Is It Anyway? And I think this music is even better than the first one.
Whose line is it anyway? 3 names, 1 clue. Can you play? Is it first? Is it third? What's the team? What's the word? Better drop the puck. Guess right or sway. Left wing, center, right on the dot. Can you name the squad or are you caught? From Boston Ice to Calgary Flame. Do you know the line or just the name? 3 players, 1 team, 1 shot to get it right. Whose line is it anyway?
Hey, whose line is it anyway? I'm going to give you 3 players. Justin, you got to see if you can figure out the team first. And then once we figure out the team, then we'll go ahead and see if you can figure out the line. All right.
All right.
So, first one is Marcus Foligno, Ryan Hartman, and Vinny Hinostroza.
That is the Minnesota Wild.
That is the Minnesota Wild.
And that is their third line.
That is their third line. I had a feeling you would get that one easily. I wanted to kind of give you a first one, but I thought the line might have been a little harder.
I'm a little disrespected that you added Ryan Hartman. Screw that guy. I hate that son of a bitch. I hate him.
Good. We got some fire in here now.
I hate Ryan Hartman. But no, yeah. Third line for the Minnesota Wild.
That is it. Nailed it. Next one. Dmitry Voronkov, Sean Monahan, and Kirill Marchenko.
That is the Columbus Blue Jackets' first line.
That is their first line. See, I thought that would be their second line because I thought Adam Fantilli would be on their first line, was what my guess was. So, again, I figured you would get the team, but I thought the line would have been harder on that one.
Now, Marchenko, I think Marchenko is slowly, at least for me, coming one of my favorite players for the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's a great player, man. In that game against St. Louis, he was spectacular.
That's interesting that you said it is one of your favorites, which means you're saying you have multiple favorites on the Columbus Blue Jackets.
What? I mean, one of Columbus has a young and up and coming team, and I'd like to see a Columbus, make a push for the playoffs. I was rooting for them last year, to make the playoffs. But
actually, I'm a full on nerd, so I play franchise modes on NHL all the time, and the Columbus Blue Jackets actually just won the Stanley Cup. So it's like 2038. But they finally won. So,
Jesus.
And I can say in that span of time, the Blues have not won. So I'm a expansion team. So I'm not even
the Blues always seem to the Blues always get screwed in the EA simulations. They never do well.
It's true. They're honestly in the however many years, 12, 13 years that I've been doing the simulation, I think they have the worst record. Like,
yeah, they're usually not in good hands. That's for sure.
All right, last one. Michael Bunting, Fedor Svechkov, and Matthew Wood.
That is the Nashville Predators.
That is Nashville,
and it is their third line. Because Michael Bunting is not a third line player.
I don't know if I would have got that one.
Holy shit.
Michael Bunting is probably the only guy that I could have, but I've never heard of Fedor Svechkov.
I do hear him. I actually didn't hear the right wing. The
Matthew
right wing
Wood.
is a little new to me. I know Miles Wood, but not Matthew Wood.
Yeah. So
Justin's a freaking encyclopedia, as
brother.
you've seen on podcasts.
Do we need to break out
the fourth one and see if we stump his ass?
Oh, do we need to break out Hurdle?
Oh,
Remember
that would be great.
How we got screwed in Hurdle last week. Have you ever played Hurdle, Justin? He looks like he's so excited. I think he's frozen. So he might come back.
I do want to I want to talk about Devo before we decide to end this bad boy, but
let's do that then instead of doing.
Because last time we played Hurdle, I was ready to take a Hurdle.
It was like a fourth line guy that we've never heard of, and we got screwed. But then afterwards, I played it a couple times, and I think I got 3 in a row. I was like, oh. It's Austin Matthews. I know this. It's regular people. So yeah. There we go. So Justin left, which means this is good because once he leaves, then he should be able to get back in.
He'll come back.
Should be back. Baby, come back. You can blame it all.
To go 3 for 3 on whose line? Again, I'll speak for myself when I say this. I hate. I'm so bad with names. So, you can say, 3 guys that are just top NHL players, and I could probably get maybe 2 or 3 teams or 2 teams, name 2 of them, but I couldn't tell you the line. Justin going 3 for 3 was insane.
Impressive. What about Dawson Mercer? Who does that person play for?
No fucking clue.
He's I did just pick up. Actually, let's spin this here. Because talking about fantasy, I just picked up Dalibor Dvorsky.
All right, sorry, fellas.
That's okay.
Connection issue.
You were actually, you were frozen on here for a bit, and then whenever you left, I was like, okay, this is good. Now that he left, he can get back in. So we needed that. So we were gonna do a hurdle. Have you ever done hurdle online?
No. What is that? No.
Okay. Have you done Wordle before? You know what Wordle is?
I have done a little bit of Wordle. That I have done a little bit of that. Yes.
Okay. So it's Hurdle is hockey's version of that. So it starts by just giving you a silhouette of a player, and you have to try to guess the player, and then based on what you guess. So if you guess Robert Thomas, it's going to tell you that Robert Thomas plays for the Blues. It's going to tell you that he plays center, that he is in the Central Division, that he's in the Western Conference, that his jersey number is 18, and that he's, I don't know, how old is he, 27?
Yeah, just about.
Somewhere around there?
Something around there.
So it's going to tell you all those things, and then it's going to tell you if you got those correct for the correct person. So let's say the person is actually Connor McDavid. Well, it's going to give you a green box on the Western Conference because it's you got Western Conference. It's going to give you a green box on center because you got the center correct. On Robert Thomas's age, it's going to have an arrow that is pointing up. That's going to say, nope, the age is actually higher because isn't McDavid 28, 29? Somewhere around there. And so that box would probably be yellow, telling you that it's close. It's kind of like how Wordle does. So you have to go through and try to guess the player.
I love the idea. The only problem is my vision. I don't know if I actually discussed that with you guys. I am legally blind, so my vision is not great. So if I have to physically look at it, so that would be something for me that I'd have to physically have up close to me because my vision is not great.
Gotcha. Well, Dakota made a good point. We decided that we're not going to do it anyway because we didn't talk about Dalibor Dvorsky and his call up for the team and how he's been playing over the last 2 games. So, Justin, since you've been able to kind of catch the last 2, do you want to talk about what you've seen from Mr. Dvorsky and tell me that he's going to score a hat trick tonight because I picked him up on my fantasy team?
I'm not going to go out on a limb and say he's going to score a hat trick because I don't see that happening. But I think Dvorsky's been good, especially in the face-off aspect of things. Seeing him kind of flourish, I believe in the first game he was I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but I know at one point he was in the 60s, percentage-wise for the faceoffs. So in that aspect, he was doing well. He was winning faceoffs, and you gotta think that the kid's playing well because you have Jim Montgomery putting him out in situations that you don't expect that guy to be out in. Like in the last 5 minutes of the game, in the last one, he was he was in a crucial moment there at the end, trying to get the game tied. So in that grand scheme of things, you got to think that he's playing well, just on that aspect alone, that he's being trusted to come into situations where the Blues need to, get back into a game or score a goal.
Dakota, what are your thoughts on? Actually, I'm just pulling up the projected lines, which I think this is what was projected earlier. But Dvorsky is going to be centering the third line with Holloway and Sundqvist tonight.
I mean, I think Dvorsky coming up and playing as well as he has, is only a good thing for him, right? Every time you play for the St. Louis Blues and you were in the AHL probably 24 hours ago is always is kind of like the tryout in a way, but you're also kind of showing the big club, hey, like I can play, right? Like I've been using the time in the AHL to kind of hone my skill, to understand the game a little bit better. I'm making more of a conscious decision to make good passes or make good decisions when I have the puck in my hand. And, Justin touched on it too. Like he mentioned, last game, like he was on the faceoff dot with 3 or 3.5 seconds left in the game for obviously he lost the faceoff, but he was on the ice because Jim Montgomery had that much trust in him. He was 9 for 12 on the faceoff dot. Like, holy shit. He might not be taking faceoffs against the top guys, but he still has a huge, great faceoff percentage that is only going to add up to him getting more ice time, him getting ice time against the top line guys. He has shown in the last 2 games that he probably should have made the roster. It's probably a good decision when he didn't, because he has used that time in the AHL to hone his skill and get better as a forward. I would love to see him stay up with the big club. Obviously barring injury, he's probably going to go down. With Jake Neighbors kind of coming back whenever that is. But, boy, that is really nice to see with Dalibor Dvorsky coming up and just absolutely just shining.
Mm-hmm. That's something that the Blues need. I don't mean to self-plug here, but, on our podcast with myself and Guy, we talk about Dalibor Dvorsky, and we talk about how Dvorsky needs to be on this roster. He's a 10th overall pick in the first round. He needs to be on this roster, and if he's not on this roster as a mainstay next season for sure, then we got a serious issue, because a guy of that caliber, that was talked so highly of, and being a 10th overall pick, he needs to be in the lineup every day.
Yeah, based on how he's playing now, there's a chance that he works if he keeps this up, that's the hardest part, is you get these players that you can call up and they can go 3, 4, 5 games in a row of playing well, but it's, can you go 10, can you get to 20 and still keep that pace? And that's a difficult part. But if he can do that in this another 4 or 5 weeks that Neighbors is out, he might play himself into, hey, I'm still here, which is fine, because I know Shen likes to play center, but I think the Blues actually like him better on the wing, which is why it's kind of nice having Thomas back tonight. You got Thomas centering the first line, Suter centering the second, and Dvorsky centering the third. Shen's playing left wing on the second line with Suter and with Kyrou.
If you're Dvorsky, you've got to put some points on your stat sheet. I know he's still waiting for. Maybe I'm wrong. I believe he's still waiting for his first NHL point. Or first NHL goal, I think it's Cole, but
I think
he got 2 games last year, so I don't remember.
I believe if he puts maybe 4 points on the board, 3 assists, 1 goal, you're easily putting yourself in a perspective where it's going to be really hard to make a decision if you're going back down or not. And like Justin said, he deserves to be on this roster. He probably should have made it coming out of camp. We've got a really decent lineup as it is, and adding that body and adding that skill set is just only going to pay dividends for the St. Louis Blues going forward.
Well, and I don't mean to cut you off. What I meant to say, what I mean is Dvorsky needs to be on this roster. I don't particularly think that he should have made the roster out of camp. I think the time down in Springfield that he got was the best possible outcome for him. I don't think that he should have, because his camp that he had in his training camp, he looked impressive at times, but there was still a Dvorsky in my mind that I just thought wasn't ready. But right now, he's taken this opportunity. He went down in the A, was playing great hockey, one of their best players, and then he gets called up, and then the 2 games that he has played, he's been good. So I think the development was well needed, for as short as it was.
Absolutely, I agree.
He had multiple opportunities in those first 2 games so far this year that he could have scored, and will be on the power play unit again. They've said that Rutherford had sent a tweet out that Snuggerud and Dvorsky will be on the same power play unit, which is, I mean, I'm just hoping for 7 power plays. I just want to see them on the ice.
That's gonna be so exciting.
Yeah, put it this way: with the officiating we've seen this year, don't count on it. Okay, don't count on it.
Right?
Don't count on it. Yeah,
The Blues youth is so good to see. The Blues youth is just they're fun to watch. It really is a fun time to be a Blues fan.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Justin or Dakota, if you guys have anything else, we can do that. Otherwise, it's 7:11 right now, which gives us a time to hang out before puck drop at 7:30.
I actually want to pose this question. I hope you guys don't mind, because we're kind of gonna go into the future, like we talked about kind of a little bit earlier. I want to know if there's a player, like obviously we don't know who would be available. I have in my mind who I would like to see the Blues go after. If the Blues are, say, in a playoff spot come the trade deadline and they want to pick up someone at the deadline, is there a player in your mind that you're like, the St. Louis Blues should go after? There's one guy that I'm thinking of that I would like to see the Blues possibly go after if they were in a playoff spot during the deadline or before the deadline.
Dakota, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I mean, I wanted to search my Rolodex of players because, like I said, names just escape me. But
I mean, it has to be realistic.
Justin throwing us on the spot. Just give me a hot second here. Like, geez, Louise. Okay. I got 2 players that I'm thinking of. One, do you want to hear like the most outrageous take I have, and then I'll let Jacob fill in the gaps?
I mean, you can give a unrealistic one, and you can give a more realistic approach. Or you could go with the realistic approach and just say no with the unrealistic. It doesn't matter. Just give me who you would like to see. If, like, obviously make it somewhat reasonable. You can't say like, oh, Connor McDavid.
Yeah, right.
Like, someone you think that would be available.
I'll go realistic and unrealistic. I'll go unrealistic first because I think that's just more fun to talk about. For me, unrealistic Alex DeBrincat. For some reason, I have just always been a big fan of the way he plays. Do I think that's even close to becoming a thing? Absolutely not. So we're just going to sit here and dream about it. But I don't know. I just think it would be cool to kind of add him to the roster. I know we have a plethora of wingers, but why not? Fuck it. You know, kids can dream. You want to go, Jacob, and then I'll fill in the unhealthy decision? Yeah.
I said before the season started, when we were still looking for another person down the middle, that Kirby Dach from Montreal was my guy. Now, I think Montreal has playoff aspirations this year, so I don't know if Kirby Dach's going to be on the move at any point. But if we are still, and we just talked about how having Robert Thomas and Suter and Dvorsky down the middle is doing well, so I don't really see why we would need to make that move now. But that was the guy that I talked about, preseason time. Besides that, I'm trying to come up with a defenseman of some sort, because that seems to be our biggest area of need. And the only, again, probably unrealistic one is if Columbus is bad again, as they usually are, does Zach Werenski get kind of thrown out to the trade pool? And then that would be a very, very fun hypothetical, but again, wouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I don't see that happening. But it would be great. I would love to see something like that. Right. But I feel like if the Blues didn't capitalize on someone like Bo Byram, who was out there that was rumored to come here, I don't see Zach Werenski coming to St. Louis.
Yeah,
but
he's gonna cost more.
It's fun to think about. It's fun to think about, and it's I'll let Dakota. I'll let you talk about who you realistically would think that the Blues could get, and then I'll kind of go after Jacob.
As far as realistic, I mean, this could be an absolute fucking stretch as far as realism. But you see Saros. I think the Blues are kind of on the ups and ups of thinking about their goaltenders being just absolutely fucking units. But if our goaltenders do in fact shit the bed, we can also grab a guy who is simultaneously shitting the bed. But he's at least going to do a decent amount of, puck saving, His
Mhm.
team isn't doing half bad. We are lower than them in the standings. So, you can't just trade shit for shit. You could try to maybe advance the shittiness of it, but UC Saros, I talked about it 2 podcasts ago about maybe, offloading our 1A 1B tandem for maybe a star-studded goaltender. I don't think UC Saros would be that. That'd be like getting Martin Brodeur. Wait, have we done that before? Oh fuck, we have.
What about Ryan Miller?
Yes,
Ryan
Ryan
Miller.
Miller. Fuck it. Bring back Marc-Andre Fleury. Let him play a season for the Blues. I know he retired, but you can always unretire before you head to the Hall of Fame, right? So who knows what we're going to do, but I'm always out here looking for goaltenders. No hate to JB and Joe Hofer, but holy shit, boys, we got to get ourselves. We got to get our shit.
Don't let Sam let you let you hear. Don't let her hear you talk about Joel Hofer like that, buddy.
Oh, I don't even have my comments up. I haven't been able to see if there's been any comments, but I'm sure.
She's like, you better not be bad mouthing Hofer tonight. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but he's just got to be better. He's a good goaltender. I'm sorry, but he's got to be better. I guess Jacob, what would be your realistic player that you think this Blues would kind of go after at the deadline?
Assuming we're winning, like we're trying to get somebody to put us over the edge, right?
Well, I would say that, or the Blues are in a I wouldn't say securely. I don't know if they'll securely be in a playoff spot by then, but if they are in a playoff spot for sure, which is probably unlikely considering the competitiveness of the division, who do you think the Blues should go after if they were, in that spot?
Trying to get the team better now. I still don't think it's a forward. Like, I think we're good on forwards. If the team's playing well, then our forwards are playing well. Unless we just want somebody depth, but that's boring. I don't know.
Well, you might not like my answer.
You go get Ryan O'Reilly and say, "Hey, you're going to play the fourth line."
You might not like my answer, but we'll see. We'll see what you think.
Jaden Schwartz in Seattle. You want to get that connection of, hey, this guy played here before.
Fuck it, give me Vinny Dunn.
That would be a fun one. I don't know. I don't know if I can come up with a name right now. Who do you have, Justin? Or who's your thought?
So the guy that I was thinking of, and I don't know if you'd like it because you just said they don't need forwards, and I think the depth chart is there for the forwards. I think that this would be mostly a move that would be for a playoff run. I'm going to go over in Buffalo, and I'm going to say that Buffalo is not in the playoff spot, and I'm going to say that the Blues should try to take a stab at Alex Tuch. I think that's a great depth piece for the St. Louis Blues. If they were in a playoff spot at the time, I don't know what, but realistically Kevin Adams would want. I feel like he would try to make us sell a house and a home to get Alex Tuch, but Alex Tuch is on a contract where he's in talks with them. He's not signed or nothing yet. I could see the Blues going after an Alex Tuch on his contract. His contract's not that big right now. It would be for a playoff run. And then you could see how everything pans out with him, if he does well for the St. Louis Blues or not.
I would just hate
so Alex Tuch would have been my guy.
That would fit what we talked about earlier of Jake Neighbors being injured and not having that net fronts. Alex Tuch more of a power forward type guy, but also he wouldn't be a depth piece. Like, that's a guy you're playing in your top six.
And I think I mean by that, I mean, the Blues are not a Colorado Avalanche. They're not a team that has Connor McDavid or Nathan McKinnon S player to them. They have Robert Thomas. He's a superstar in my mind, but he's not to the caliber of those guys. So on a Blues team, he is looked at as a guy who is a top six guy.
Yeah.
But I think that Alex Tuch would be a great fit for the St. Louis Blues. And the guy has only progressed in his career. Like, every season he seems to be getting better and better. So, and he's in his prime. So that's a good player for, I think, a deep playoff run if the Blues are there at that point.
I wouldn't be upset about it. I'd be scared about what we'd have to give up.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
would you have-
Kevin Adams is lost in the sauce up there. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's in the Buffalo air, but I mean, Buffalo is just a kind of a sea of nothingness in my mind. They're playing well right now, but that's obviously not going to keep up. We all know it. But we will see. That's just a question I wanted to pose to you guys because I thought it was an interesting kind of thought process.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad idea. Like, that would be a player that would fit the system. So, all right.
I think the player. Oh, sorry. No, my bad. Go ahead.
No, you're good. One quick thought. This is kind of off topic, but did you guys see that Gary Bettman announced who's going to host the 2027 NHL Stadium Series?
Nope.
I
Where
did
it's going to
not.
be, where it's going to be held, and like the location? The Dallas Stars are going to be playing inside AT&T Stadium.
Wow.
That's going to be wild.
That's kind of
Yeah.
cool, but also it's not outdoors. Like, the Stadium Series is supposed
That's
to
what I'm
be
saying, right? Isn't that the whole thing?
outdoors. Unless, does AT&T Stadium have a retractable roof? Is that how they're going to call it, outdoors?
I don't know, but
I don't know. I don't know if it has a retractable roof. It might, but
I don't know. The coolest Stadium Series game ever, and I think it was Stadium Series and not, it might have been a Winter Classic, but I think it was Stadium Series, is the Vegas and Colorado game that was like out in the middle of nowhere and it had like a lake in the background. Like, I think it was COVID related, so they couldn't have a whole lot of people there. And so instead of focusing on how many tickets can we sell and how much money can we make, they focused on let's put on a good show. And it was freaking amazing. But now the only reason they're going to AT&T Stadium is because they know they can fill it. And so they can sell tickets, overpriced tickets for a regular season game for no reason.
it's like going to it's like going to an arena game though. Like the whole outdoor or the whole Stadium Series is like to play in like a stadium, which is typically outdoors. So I don't know. You kind of
Except worse. The seating will be not set up for hockey and for football. It's going to be worse.
That's true.
hey, as long as I don't have to see the Blackhawks in a specialty game for a couple of years, I'm fine. Okay.
Oh, that's
I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing the Blackhawks. Okay.
The Stars are playing the Blackhawks, aren't they? I don't actually know, but
no, I don't see why they would do that. I hope not.
I don't think so either.
I hope not.
Who would the Stars play? Utah. Stars in Utah. That's what I'm going with. They got to get the new team.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
I don't know.
Utah wouldn't be surprising.
I'm guessing. Yeah.
Yeah, Utah wouldn't be surprising, but I don't know. It'd be interesting. Dallas is not surprising to me, but it'd be interesting to see who they put them against.
I do have to point out that Dakota Luke is mad at you because you're not showing off the logo on the hat. So
here, Jacob has the front part covered. I have the ass.
We got them both. We got them back.
Jeez, Luke, chill out.
Well, just turn your head so you can see that there's nothing.
Hey, I'll turn my damn hat around when you turn your damn team around. How about that?
Yeah, dude, this fantasy hockey team is god awful. Dude, I scored more points in a week than he scored all year long.
Oh man. Might I add that Dylan Larkin is an absolute gem for fantasy. Might I add?
He's a unit.
I don't know. Dakota makes our fantasy league so weird. And so that's why I picked up Dvorsky. Dvorsky is only listed as a right winger on Yahoo, but he's playing center for the Blues. And in our league, we get a point for every face-off win. So Dvorsky's going out there and getting 9 or 10 free points in my right winger spot. So I'm like, yeah, I'm doing
this. There you go. You got it set right there.
So,
for sure.
If you go through and look at my team, every single player wins faceoffs, except David Pasternak. That's why I'm trying to trade him.
I have seen that. I found the ways that you have cheated so far this year. And believe it or not, the things will be changing next year.
Oh, I can't win. Actually, I think I'm going to lose this week because I play the other guy who's pretty good.
Yeah, we can't say his name.
And yeah, right. And I'm missing Rupe Hintz, Brady Kachuk, and somebody else pretty.
I'm also
good.
missing Brady Kachuk as well. But
Yeah, that one hurts.
my team's been pretty solid. We don't have a big league, but we ended up I wasn't able to draft, so I had to kind of like
Oh no.
refinagle my team. So I had to refinagle my team, but the league is not as big as most would be with a lot of players in it. So I was able to kind of finagle and trade guys that I wanted, and the auto simulation kind of gave me good players, anyways. But my team's pretty solid, I think, for the most part for who I have. I actually just beat I actually beat the only undefeated guy in our fantasy this week. So
Nice.
that was a good time.
Elias Lindholm is the other guy I'm missing, who is our number one non-goalie, I think, or he's at least up there. So
who's your guys' goalies for fantasy?
See, that's the thing is for this league, goalies just are better than every other player imageable. It doesn't matter what goalies you have. It's did they play hockey? Because if they did, they're going to get 30 points.
Yeah, our league's a little different.
I'll give you my goaltenders, and you can tell me how shitty they are. UC Saros, Logan Thompson, and then I have Ilya Sorokin. So it's middle of the road. Now, usually, my three favorite hockey teams right now are the biggest Golden Knights, the St. Louis Blues, and the Dallas Stars. Now, most of the time, I will draft Jake Ottinger. Some asshole this year decided that it would be a funny idea if they would take Jake Ottinger. So I had to kind of, like you said, finagle the team to where you got some goaltenders that you're like, oh, okay, cool. UC Saros is great for me because this team just allows them to just unload on Saros, and you get a point per save. So that dude could be taking 40 pucks to the chest, and I'm getting 40 pucks. I'm getting 40 points.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, your goaltending's not as bad as mine. I mean, my goaltending was really rough because I was behind the 8 ball because I didn't get the draft, right? And I was dead last. So everybody took all the pretty, decent goaltenders. I would say my goaltenders are okay, not the greatest. My goaltenders are Thatcher Demko and Scott Wedgwood. So those are the 2 goalies I have. So nothing spectacular,
Vancouver, that's pretty good.
That's not bad at all.
No, I mean it's not terrible, and I actually think that your Sorokin pick is not too bad either. I like Sorokin. Sorokin is one of the better goalies in the league, and he would be probably in Vezina votes if he wasn't playing for a team who is kind of middle of the road in the Islanders.
So let's put it this way: in our league, Elias Lindholm is one of the best skaters in the league, and he's averaging 20 points a game for me. My goalie is John Gibson, and he's averaging 21 a game.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
So you just need goalies.
Yeah, ours is a little different. It's kind of weird how our skaters get a little bit more than the goalies do. I don't know how the owner of this has this set up, but the goalies don't get as much as you'd think that they do. But
our owner is Dakota, and so as long as he keeps setting up the way he is, because I'm winning, so it's fine with me.
So you're doing them right, Dakota. You're doing them right.
7:29. There's a hockey game starting. I do have to say, I know Sam was upset about the Sam Bitten trade, so I do have to apologize to Sam. I am sorry. I was just saving it for the end. And I tried warning you, Sam. I tried telling you that we were going to talk about it. So go get your scooters. Unless you ordered mushroom coffee, then drink your mushroom coffee. And then check out Hughes Custom Design for your custom wood signs and LED lights on the back. And then check out Imprint Labs for literally anything else. If you want a wood sign, you have to go to Hughes Custom Design. If you want anything else, go to Imprint Labs and they'll put your things on things. All right. Justin, give me a big Let's Go Blues.
Let's go Blues. I think the boys get it done tonight and win 4-3. That's my prediction for tonight.
Let's do it. All right. See you, everybody. And stream.